Hello and welcome to Common Sense from God. I'm your host, the Doctor of Common Sense. You know, many have speculated that we're living in the last days. I can't emphatically say we are, but I can guarantee you we're closer to the last days than when Paul wrote 2 Timothy. Think about this. Paul was writing in 2 Timothy. He says that this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Somebody says, we're here. As a matter of fact, every time I read one of these scriptures, you can just say in your mind, we're here. He says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. We're here. You may as well say, you can't even watch the evening news and realize that we're not in perilous times. It could. I mean, technically, Jesus could come back any day now. It ain't a scary thing that he's coming back. The scary thing is that he's coming back and you don't know him. That's the scary thing. That's almost like somebody saying, you're on an airplane and everybody who don't have that ticket just told everybody to load on. But you better make sure you have your ticket, because once we get in the air, say we're 10,000 feet up, if we find out that you don't have a ticket, we throwing you off. Just imagine the person coming down the aisle and saying, do you have a ticket? Yes, I got my. You have a ticket? Yes, I got. You have a ticket? No, I don't have a ticket. You got to go. No, we don't have any parachutes. Says that in the last days, people will become without natural effect. Without natural effect. Does that have something to do with the way the sexual perversion has happened? They have glorified homosexuality in this country and in the world. I mean, the last president was constantly telling you how wonderful it is. They call it coming out the closet, celebrating it. Without natural effect. Trucebreakers. Do you ever notice that people don't even want peace no more? They want contention. False accusers. As a matter of fact, you can get further in most court systems now by being a false accuser. Says incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. They despise those that are good. Don't think they've changed just back in the days of Paul. They despise those who are good. We here right now. This is where we at. As a matter of fact, Paul is giving the evening news right now. Paul says, let me read the morning news to you. This is what's happening around the world. People have become proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural effect, trucebreakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those who are good, traitors. Got a lot of those. I mean, you could be a traitor now. People don't think nothing about stabbing a person in their back. You don't have to do nothing to them. As a matter of fact, most times, if you let people get away with too much, see, that's why people think that turn the other cheek means you just let people walk all over you. You let them get away with too much, they will keep doing it. They're traitors. They're heady. That means it's almost like a drunkenness. They're high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Paul, would you stop reading the paper and talk to us right now? Then he says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Listen to what he says. From such turn away. Now, it didn't say from such be they friend. It didn't say from such. See, everybody has like a certain sin that is like, you can't do this. If you ever do this, it's just too bad. Now, God can forgive you for everything. And some sins takes more of a consequences than others. But do you know that person, they got one sin that if you do this sin right here, oh my God, they'll bring it up every time. They got all this filth in their closet, just closing the closet. Like that drawer in the house, they got all that junk in it, and nobody wants anybody to know. Or the closet, they got all the junk in it. They got all this junk stuff in it, but they got this one that they'll be telling you, oh boy, if you do that right there, I'm telling you, it's unforgivable. And here they got all this other crap in their closet. Do you know that kind of person? Now, we should try to live a holy life. We should try to get closer to God and be more God-like. But when you start acting like your sin that you don't ever struggle with, and all of a sudden the other sins that you never struggle with, those are the ones you going to hell. Do you know that kind of person who has a certain sins that they will make sure they point it out to you every time? They got this filth over here. I mean, you can't even close the closet. Skeletons just popping out their mouths. But he says they have a form of godliness. Do you know the people that always have a form of God, always sounding real churchy, got the right phrase for everything? Will stab you in your back, will gossip, will do the most deplorable things you can ever say to a person, and be friends with the other ones who actually does these type of things and say he's a good guy. Oh, she's not that bad. Paul says, from such turn away. Don't be their friends. You know those people who got those friends. Now, if this person wasn't their friend and they didn't like him, that'd be the most rotten person in the world. But if it's their friends, all of a sudden they ain't that bad of a person. I think they kind of a good guy. They're rotten to the core because it's their friend. This is how people are. They're like little children. When they like somebody, they will ignore all type of things they do. They will never call them to the carpet. And I'm not saying publicly do it. You can go to them quietly and says, hey, that's what the Bible teaches. Hey, what you doing right now is completely foul. But they won't do that. They'll be friends with them and laugh at their stuff. And then condemn somebody else for what they're doing. He says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such, turn away. Paul didn't say be their friend. Don't try to be nice to them. He said turn away from them. They ain't worth having for a friend. They're not going to listen to truth anyway. He said, for of this sort are they which creep into houses. Listen good. He said they creep into houses and lead captive silly women who's laden with sin. He said you go get you a silly woman who's laden with sin. You can tell her anything. Led away with divers lust, ever learning and never able to come to a knowledge of the truth. Do you know anybody like that? They always learning, saying how smart. And I'm not just talking about college education learning. I'm saying they always talking about they got something new. I read this and I did this. It's completely fabricated. See, if it doesn't line up with the truth of God, you ain't got yourself nothing. Ever learning, but never ever coming to the knowledge of the truth. Now, he says, as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses. Some of you may not know who that is. Many believe that's Exodus, the 7th chapter. The musicians, when Moses and Aaron went in there with the rod, those was the ones who was resisting Moses. So he said this to young Timothy, and Timothy being Jewish and his mama and his grandma being Jewish, you know good and well they had told him about this story. Because whenever you say Moses to those people, I'm telling you, it's like they stand with attention. He said they withstood Moses. These also resist the truth. In other words, just like back in the days of Moses, there was false teachers, there was soothsayers, there was those who practiced witchcraft. We got it right here today too. People be thinking their signs are, well, I'm going to read my sign, and my sign says this. I'm compatible because of my sign. Stop it, demon. Stop it, demon. I mean, just stop it. Talk about witchcraft, Ouija boards, and the whole 9 yards. He says, men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. Reprobate. Did you hear the word? He said they're reprobate concerning the faith. You ain't no need to talking to them. Ain't no need to trying to lead them. They're not listening to you. They love lies. They love deceit. He said, but they shall proceed no further. To their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. Just like these fellas was resisting Moses. Everybody saw who was the true man of God right there. Did they folly do any good for them? Yeah, they just kept with the plagues until the first, every one of the firstborn in Egypt died. So who was right? Was Moses right? He says, just like this young Timothy, these false teachers, you see them all the time on the news. You see them all the time in the church. Go to church every time the church door is open sometime. Gonna blow hell wide open. Going to church don't save you. That's what they don't understand what a relationship is. I know some people go to church every Sunday, will stab you in your back, talk about holiness all the time, and will deceive and literally try to do everything they can to help bring you down. And they have the ones who's on their side trying to bring you down. They side with that one. He said, but they ain't gonna proceed no further. You ain't gotta worry about them. See, I don't worry about the devil. Some of y'all be concerned about the devil. Anybody on the devil's side, you going to lose. Don't ever get scared of the devil or his minions, of those who side with the demons and their minions. Eventually they come down and see, notice, they're the ones who always want sympathy. They can't handle them because they ain't fighting for the Lord anyway. He said, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience. Paul said, let me just give him a little of my reservation. He said, persecution, affliction, which came to me at Antioch, Iconium, and Lystra. Now you remember, Paul had got stoned to death. They put him outside the city like he was going to die. Shipwrecked, snake bit. I mean, they caned the boy. Paul went through all kind of things. But he said, what persecution I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. That's the good news. He said, no matter what happened, the Lord delivered me. Yeah. And all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. Paul said, the message I want you to know, that in the last days, people are going to wax worse and worse and worse. They are going to be lovers of themselves. All they talk about is me. How can I be happy? How can I make myself more happy? I'm just not happy because everything's not perfect. That's what Paul is talking about. These covetous people, these boasters, blasphemers. You ever see somebody want to talk about? They want to talk about how much money they got, their car, their education, their friends, who they know. I don't care who you know. Don't make no difference to me. Go walk on some water. Just take 5 little fish and a couple of loaves of bread and just feed over 5,000. You're not impressing me. I don't care who you are. Not the president, not the Pope. I'm not impressed. Just not. People get impressed with the wrong people all the time. You're not Jesus. You can't impress me. Get on with that. Once you start putting these men and women on pedestals, that's when you start falling. Because then whatever they tell you, you're going to believe it. Because you have exalted the man or the woman. I don't care. It's nothing wrong with having respect for somebody. But it'll be a cold day in Hell before I say to myself that this man is infallible or this woman is infallible, because I know them, they got into it. I don't know. Let me examine the evidence first. Let me examine. I want to examine that thing first. I'm just going to, if the Bible tells us to test the things, I'm going to test everything. It don't mean I don't care who it is. Well, I know him. I don't care who you know. Don't make no difference to me. He ain't Jesus. When he becomes Jesus Christ, the Son of God, not Jesus, Jesus Christ, the only begotten, then come talk to me like he's infallible. She's infallible. I don't care. Well, this is how I interpret. I don't care what you interpret. I really don't care. Doesn't make any difference. I'm not impressed with anyone like that. I'm just not. It ain't because it's arrogant. I know Jesus. And so, well, how you going to beat that? I know the God. My Father owns the cattle of 1,000. He'll beat that. Yeah, he's the one who hung all the stars in the sky up there. Let me see you outdo that one. When you start making something out of nothing, then I'll get impressed. Paul says in the last day, don't let these deceivers deceive you. Don't let these unthankful, unholy, without natural effect, trucebreakers deceive you. Paul says, stand firm, young Timothy. He had to give Timothy, because he's looking at Nero's chopping block. Don't forget that. He said, I'm going to give you a couple of lines. I'm going to give you some instructions now on what you need to be looking for. Because this happened way back in the days of Moses. It's been happening. It ain't just that. It ain't nothing new. Ever notice when Paul getting ready to leave or getting ready to depart from somewhere, he always warns against false teachings and deceivers. Never notice that? You don't get that most teaching in the churches today. They don't talk about false teachers and false preachers. And every time Paul was getting ready, he was emphatic about it. Jesus even said to people, I'm praying for you. Because Satan want to sift through you. But now if you bring it up, it's contentious. Nobody wants to talk about true doctrine. Nobody wants to talk about these filthy, vile people who you have. And that's all they do is go every day they wake up. They're concerned about bringing somebody else down because they're going to hell. That's why the devil knows his time is short. His workers know it too. So they got to get busy. As soon as they get up, let me get to work. Let me get to work being blasphemous. Let me get to work being boasters, proud, covetous. Let me get to work being a trucebreaker, false accuser. And the thing about it is, they're so convinced in their lives that sometimes these church people be believing these demons. Why would you ever believe a demon? You want to defend it? Hell no, I want to defend that now. Hey, you talking to a demon, that's on you. Did you ask the person, was they a believer? Did you ask them, was they actually a child of God before you actually believe their lies? Absolutely not. Because people don't even want the truth. And I'm talking about church people, because they easily led astray. just tossed to and fro by every wind and doctrine. When somebody said, oh, that sounds good, but that sounds good. Oh, yeah, I just love that person. Well, that person teaches false teachings too. They're false teachers is leading people astray, weakening the body of Christ. And these are the people who get glorified all the time, especially if they're articulate. Just saying, Paul says, in the last days, he says, know it, that we're living in the last days, perilous times shall come. Somebody said, we're here. Ain't no need to look no further. We're here right now. It's perilous times right now. I've never seen so many evil people in my life. I've never seen so many liars and deceitful people. We'll lie and make up. And the lie sounds so real. You be saying like, that almost convinced me. That's a good lie right there. You ain't got to try to defend every lie. That's what Jannes and Jambres says. Why do people think they have to defend every lie? Sometimes you let God go fight my battle. I ain't got time. I'm going to go get my lawyer. Jesus. Sometimes you got to let your lawyer handle this. You know, that's why in the courses they said, don't you talk. Let me let the lawyer do it. I have a lawyer who's sitting at the right hand of the Father, makes intercessions for me daily. Yeah, that's my lawyer. You can't beat my lawyer. My lawyer already know what your lawyer going to think about. My lawyer knows what your evil mind is thinking. So when your lawyer tries to outdo my lawyer, it's like your arm, you trying to box with somebody. He got like a 50-inch reach on you. You can't even get close to it. But this is where we at right now. We're at a time where you got all of these evil people, and sometimes you got to stop giving them any attention, because what their job technically is to do is to go over and muddy the water and get you concentrating on their crap. You can't be doing what God said concentrating. I ain't got no time for that. Get out of here. Demon? You over here fighting with this demon. God said, I got this great work you want to do right here. I got it over here for you. He says, but you too busy fighting with these flies. I got this dragon I need you to kill. But keep fighting with the flies. Just yapping. It's like that little dog yapping at your heels or something like this. Here they got a dinosaur come over, you got to fight it. And you over here with this chihuahua yapping at your heels. Ain't got time for that. Where they say, okay, I'm glad. Oh, yeah, that hurt me. I'm scared. You got to understand, you got to be bold for Christ. Stop worrying about what everybody say about you, because that's a distraction. Remember when Nehemiah was building the wall, they said, come on, look over here. Nehemiah said, I ain't got time for that. I'm doing a great work over here, but I got time to be distracted with your crap? No. They did everything they can to get Nehemiah. He said, would you stop sitting in for me, because I'm not coming. I'm going to finish this great. If Nehemiah had stopped to go answer them anytime, I bet you the wall wouldn't have got built. So I got great work going over here. And just tell those demons, I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time for your mess. I ain't got time to be distracted. I ain't got time to go to defend it. I ain't got to defend nothing. Sometimes let Jesus Christ be your lawyer and says, I want you to talk. You can go talk to my lawyer about that deal right there. You need to go talk. You're talking about that. He's going to take care of you. And when they suffer, the Bible says don't glory in it. I have a hard time with that one. Because sometimes when you get it coming, you have it coming. The human part of you want to just say, yeah, good for you. Glad you got it. You had it coming. That's what happens sometimes. You know, just like the earth swallowed up those women against Moses. Sometimes let it swallow them up. Sometimes you feel sorry for every person who something happened to them. I don't know. It could be a punishment from the Lord, all I know. I mean, I'm not saying it could be. Easily. So remember, in the last days, perilous times shall come, and the evil people who are in the world right now, all you have to do is remember in your mind, they are working for the devil, and that's their job. They've been hired to do a job by their daddy, the devil, and that's what they do. People act like they're surprised when people do the devil's work. They are of the devil. So the devil says, get my work done. They say, yes, boss, we're going to do your work. Yes, we will. God trying to talk to them. They says, we ain't hearing none of that. Because he's not their shepherd. The devil is their shepherd. And they listen to him. If God, see, when Jesus talking, you're supposed to listen to what Jesus says, because he's the shepherd. That's what David was talking about. The Lord is my shepherd, not Satan. See, most of these people that Paul is talking about in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, these are demon worshipers. And some of them, they'll polish up real good too. They don't walk around looking like demons. Some of them are polished up, but pure demons. Pure demons. Some of them are educated. Some of them are politicians. Some of them are teachers. Some of them are the most respected people in the community. Demons. Absolute demons. Now learn how to identify the demons. These are the characteristics of demons. Every time you see them, they got something negative to say about somebody else. They always talking about somebody else's business. Always. That's all they do. Well, I got something I want to tell you. I'm not trying to get nobody business, but I'm going to tell you this right here. Well, do you ever do anything besides getting other people's business? That's why your life's so jacked up right now. Always in somebody else's business. You got to learn to identify. And Paul don't say, let's go run out and hang out with him. Let's talk to him. He says, get away from him. Don't have nothing to do with him. That's why I say, I'll be blocked. I'm getting away from it. Don't want to talk to you ever again. You find out you're a demon. Once you find out who a demon is, you identify the demon and don't be having a conversation with the demon. Be done. I didn't see Jesus over there talking with the demon. Says, these swine over here need you to, would you like to go? How would, let's be friends first. Let's have a chat. Would you like to have some tea or coffee? Yeah, email me. No, I don't believe that it was actually over there negotiating with demons. Why do you negotiate with a demon? I never understood that when the people of God are so scared they need to go get information from them. Saul tried that in the Old Testament. I was going to go consult the witch. Yeah, I'm going to get my information from that. Freaking unbelievable.